there. One night in the building. We got a lot to talk about. Housing issues. Things going on in the black community. Stuff that's happening. One NYCHA. Big shout out to Chuck Schumer, who was on the show the other day. It was tremendous. We just finished doing hip hop, health, and politics. The One NYCHA show starts at 9 o'clock. What am I talking about? We start in about a couple of minutes. That's when it's going down. 354, One NYCHA's in the building. And once again, hello to Janet. What's happening? Good to see you in the chat room. I feel like I want to ask, like, is it like Janet Jackson? Or does your name have to be Janet Jackson? I just gotta, you know what I'm saying? Nothing surprises me anymore. We had Fly Ty, who was the manager for and the label owner for the Juice Crew for Bismarck. He came on The Real Discussion with Rock Logic, and he spoke on the passing of Bismarcky and started telling stories and stuff. Big shout out to Maria Davis on that one. Give me a chance to get your chat on. Share. Janet Jackson said, I was born first. I love it. She's like, I was born first. She's like, I'm not Penny from Good Times. Yeah, so we got it going down. There's a lot of stuff that was going on. Big week in hip-hop. We lost another legend. And I'm going to hit the button at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, I'm going to hit the button. We got 5 minutes of showtime. It's the One NYCHA show. We had some good shows this weekend. Big shout out to Me Gente Me People. That was a good show. We spoke to, oh my God, what is her name? The lady's name. Her last name is Ba. Amdi Ba? Anyway, she was great. She has a book coming out. Prospectively Yours is coming on right after One NYCHA. We're going to let that go with Jeff. So Jeff is coming on Prospectively Yours. Also being broadcast on Boardwalk Global Media. And there go my headphones. Try again. Try that one, yeah. But now you probably don't have headphones, do you? She don't have headphones. There's 4 headphones. So you should have one that just doesn't. There's 4 slots, right? And you should be missing one. One should be missing. Or all 4 slots are in. All right. You don't hear any music in your headphones? Once again, 3 minutes to showtime. Give me a hot second. I'm working the headphone thing out.
You wanna bump into, yeah, ayy. Cause y'all be trippin' nowadays, y'all be trippin' nowadays. My plane too high, stay out the way, yeah, ayy. Y'all be trippin' nowadays, y'all be trippin' nowadays. My plane too high, stay out the way. Chasing the back, got time for no fakes. Even king if you move like a snake. Yeah, my bro got whatever it takes. Give me cut, no, I don't want no hate, yeah, ayy. Cause y'all be trippin' nowadays.
Now everybody has headphones. We had to figure that out. We are live. Make sure you guys share the love. Share. If you got your notification, please share. I heard this record has 94,000 streams. Tremendous. Once again, guys, Make sure you share.
You tripping, so maybe you need to relax.
John Coleman is in the house.
I'm counting you haters like I was a map. Nowadays I just be doing my dash.
Gary Delamar's in the house. I'm posting it. And I will definitely get to the weather in a minute. Big shout out to my man, Ronnie Wright. Ran into him in B&H the other day. He is the photographer to the stars, bro. It's my buddy. Long time. You know how this is now. It's like a roll call. Who's still alive? I'm gonna try that place. Big shout out to all my first responders. Big shout out to EMS. I see you. My EMS crew, I see y'all. And this is the One NYCHA Show. Want to thank you for tuning in. I'm all shared up. And it is now 4 o'clock. So, I think it's time for us to get right. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna hit the button. I just need to do one thing. I guess we know I've been did that from the jump. Who are we? Gotta do the weather. Look at you. Wanna bump into, yeah. Who are we? We KDW. What'd you say?
Do you know if our cameras are good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
We good.
Okay.
I already set up.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's go to work, y'all. Welcome to the One NYCHA Show. We do this every week at 4 o'clock. Big shout out to Gary D on the check-in, Janet Jackson on the check-in. Chat room is live. It is now 82 degrees in New York City. The high is 84. The low is 72, and it's cloudy outside. And it rained like a monsoon last night. Give me guys to share.
Greetings all. Share.
You know what I'm saying? The more you share, the more people join in, the more we feel like you care. So make sure you share. We got a special guest today. And it's incredible because we don't get to do this very often. You know, it's a lot of times we'll talk to NYCHA residents and they'll be on a Zoom or they'll be on a phone call. But to have one here live and direct, yes, I'm loving that right now because we can really get into it. You know what I'm saying? She has a very interesting name. She's very famous. I'm not going to say anything. So, you know, once again, I want to thank you for tuning in.
NYCHA, we're in the building.
One NYCHA, one people.
Yes.
Word. And we're forever, ever expanding. You know? We got a lot to talk about, a lot to do, man.
Yes.
Swear to God.
Shared it, Sam? Did you share it?
I shared it, yeah.
Oh, you
got
got
your
it.
stance.
I figured out the technology.
Oh, Stan is no longer a caveman.
That's
Usually
new.
Mike Jones.
That's new.
Usually Mike Jones got to do it for me.
I know, right?
One,
It's not
two,
right here.
three.
All right. That's what's up.
Word up. So once again, we want to welcome to the One NYCHA Show. And we do this every Sunday at 4 o'clock. We go from 4 to 5. And we talk about a lot of things. We talk about all things NYCHA. That's number one. We talk about politics. We talk about health. Sometimes we talk about music.
Yeah.
You know, we get into a whole host
flow.
of things.
We flow.
Yeah, we just kind of flow whatever's going on.
Yes, yeah.
This week was a good week for me. I completed the studio in my house, so
all right.
now I have a recording studio in the
Give
house.
yourself
You know what I'm
some.
saying?
And he's rapping and singing too.
Yeah. And I'm rapping, spitting bars and
Yeah,
stuff.
incredible.
And I've produced about 6 or 7 records already, you know, off of the cuff. The technology's working. I'm really happy about it.
Nice.
What that meant was I was able to turn my living room back into a living room because it looked like a zoo. There was boxes everywhere and all of that stuff. Other than that, I basically just kind of stayed home and did that this week.
Yes.
Did some Boardwalk Global Media business. One of the big things I'm working on is we're working on redesigning the studio. Spoke to Jeff the other day, and we're going to just kind of break everything down that's in this room. We're going to run truss across the top to run lights coming down, put couches around or chairs around.
Okay.
We're going to do away with the microphones. We're going to do the lavalier microphones.
Okay.
So we're going to go for a more TV look.
All right.
Than radio. I think we've done radio, right? And
For a long time.
we've been great at it. Yeah. And now it's time for us to go to TV. So we're going to elevate the TV.
Okay.
We're going to pick up a couple of actual, like these Blackmagic 4K cameras, which are TV cameras.
Right.
And, we're going to elevate this whole Boardwalk Global Media thing to the next level.
Let's do it.
So, I mean, unfortunately, we won't be able to change the backgrounds because the background is going to be the background, but now we're going to look like something different.
Okay.
I think something even more professional than what we've been doing. So that's kind of been my week. What's happened, Saundrea? What's going on with you?
And the backgrounds can change, right?
Right. I mean, we can do something. Yeah. It just won't be green screen anymore.
Right.
So we can work something out. What's happening with you?
Sounds good. So, greetings all. My week was busy and blessed as usual. Let me first say it is a blessing to begin season 3. With the One NYCHA team. You guys are awesome to work with. Season 3.
That's right. This is our first time back.
Season 3 today.
Wow.
Season 3. You gave the weather. You gave the weather. You gave the weather.
It's season 3.
Season we've been doing this a long time.
Damn.
And season 2 was very long.
Yeah,
it was.
We couldn't stop because we just were just doing
elections.
it.
It was rolling so hard.
Yeah.
Like guest after guest and event after event.
Elections, we were covering it so deep. And, and a lot of people are saying that, they didn't know what this person did or this position, this elected official.
Right.
They learned a lot from us. So, shout out to the One NYCHA team for what we do.
One people.
What we do.
We love that.
Yeah, so the week prior, because we missed 2 weeks, and I'm just going to breeze through that. Normally checking in with residents and stuff, making sure they're all right, resolving any issues. On Saturday, July 3rd, we lost power in my building. And, we were out for well over 12 hours. And sadly, NYCHA didn't call the contractor till about 4:30 because I found out after 10 because I stayed, in and out. I was checking on residents and stuff like that. And they didn't notify the private contractors because we're actually being hooked up to a generator.
Right.
But it's not already fully hooked up. So a fuse blew. So we had partial lighting throughout the building. Like the elevators was fine. The lighting was fine in the building. The outer. But some of the apartments were partially lit. It was crazy.
Wow.
Just trying to do that. And to be clear, I'm not a resident council president, but I care about the people.
Absolutely.
And, I had my boots on the ground. On Thursday, July 8th, one of my son's good friend, Nisi, reached out. Shout out to Nisi. Can you give Nisi some? Because one of the reasons we have our guest here today is because of Nisi. She reached out to me about her conditions.
Okay.
And I was able to assist her, get her help with elected officials. Got her hooked up to meet and network with Monica Morales.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So, but her pictures and everything was on our footprints first. Like,
okay.
We got it out first. One NYCHA. So One NYCHA, one people. We did that. Speeding into this week, same old, busy. Homes Isaac Coalition, we had a follow-up meeting with our attorneys because we're looking at to see how we're going to resolve our case because we've been doing this case since December 13th of 2019. It's called the HP Action Lawsuit, Housing Parts Lawsuit. And it's over 30 litigants on it. And, it's just been inspection after inspection, really not much done, a little bit of cleanliness, but the problems are still there.
Right.
So we want to see what's what. And we have another follow-up meeting on Monday with the residents. But this meeting was in person, so it was cool.
Okay.
We didn't have everybody, though, because it's kind of hard, Friday, I covered an amazing event that 700 Strong hosted on the Upper East Side. Where their office and headquarters is at, and that was great. They honored Richie Torres, as well as announced that they are launching 700 Dems, and which will have chapters in every borough. So give 700 Strong.
700 Strong.
And they also extended an invite for us to come break bread with them. So we got a coordinator Friday.
Okay.
And we all go out there and we chill out and we eat.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And lastly, today makes, with US for BLM, day number 408, 400 days we've been doing this at Carl Schutz Park. We went to 405 days straight as of July 11th, and we just recently transitioned into going through just Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
So we did scale it down because it's been a lot. But that's been my week in 2 weeks or so in a nutshell. Busy, busy, busy.
Always busy.
Staying
Always
the
busy.
man.
Yeah, so my week, since you've been on, last Friday I had a brunch with Carolyn Maloney, and she took out myself and several other community members who are working hard during the pandemic to get food to the residents and to people in our communities to more or less help them survive. So it was great to see all the great people that do great work in Queens, and I'm thankful again that Carolyn Maloney invited me out. It was a nice brunch, but we're having an issue now in Queensbridge. The largest housing development in the country does not have a resident council president.
Right.
And now they're trying to actually have an election in the next 2 weeks, and they're going to have this election online, where and only from 4 to 8, in a development where many people don't have access to the internet.
Now, is that nominations? I'm sorry. Is that nominations? Because it's nominations first and then election.
It's nominations, and then, but the actual election is going to be...
That's unacceptable.
That's unacceptable.
No,
So we're having a major issue. I contacted Carolyn Maloney, so they're aware of it. We're going to reach out to all the other elected officials that represent this neighborhood. Because how can we have a citywide election in person, but people in NYCHA got to vote online only for 4 hours of it in a day? So very disappointed about that. We're going to have to make some noise to make sure that these folks are not disenfranchised and denied the right to vote in the largest housing development in the country. So NYCHA once again is up to his old tricks, trying to push something through and shove something down people's throats and sneak it through. People don't even know there's an election. There's no flyers up, I'm hearing. I was in Queensbridge the other day talking to residents. People didn't even know this was happening, so it's really upsetting. We're gonna really fight that, maybe have a press conference and maybe have an event that day where we actually have a table if the election doesn't get stopped. We're gonna have a table and give out food and have people be able to vote in person, right on the computer, right in front of Jacob Reese, if we can't stop this election. So we want to try to stop it, to make sure that these folks are not disenfranchised, so that's one of the big things happening.
Wow.
And last but not least, we're going to have an event in Ravenswood this coming next Tuesday. And I'm having issues with these resident council presidents who, in some ways, it's just difficult. We're trying to figure out, are you for the blueprint? Are you not? They're very non-committal, and they say they don't understand. We've had meetings with them to explain it to them. They say they still don't understand. So we're going to now go directly to the residents themselves and say, you know what? We're bringing the information. And once you have the information, once you really know what it is, I'm 99.9% sure that most of the residents will not be for it, and they're not for it. There's a disconnect between these resident council presidents and actually what the residents actually want.
Wow.
And we're having a lot of that in Queens. And last but not least, I saw Evie, who lost to Tiffany Caban. I was very upset about that. I'm going to assume, hopefully be meeting with Tiffany Caban. I reached out to some of her people.
Okay.
And then you had Julie Wan, who won in District 26 with all of our friends running. And that was just surprising, So I just felt a little down for those candidates that I know that worked hard and that are in the community. And then sometimes people who are not as present in the community somehow end up winning the elections. And it's like, how did this happen when you don't see these people? So no, not knocking them. I'm going to get to know them and find out what their platforms are. But it's a shame with the people that literally do the work, who you see every Saturday and Sunday with no cameras, no anything. They just doing the work. Did not get put in office, and it's just tough.
Wow.
I just want to say a big shout out to Frida Davis just joined us. What's up, Frida? Big shout out to Frida Davis. Chat room starting to populate.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's really crazy. It was a very just upsetting. But most important, that Queensbridge situation, we have to do something about it. And any other development, if you're having elections online or anything like that, your rights are being denied as a resident and as a citizen of the city. And it's really unacceptable. So we need to fight back and bring some noise and make people know that we're not going to take that.
Right. You can't trust it. And you can't trust it, whatever happens, the outcome of that election. Right. It's no way you can trust that. There's no transparency.
Absolutely not.
And, we know how it's done. And it needs to be done. They could do that outside. It's nice weather. Also, let me ask you this with Queensbridge. Did they actually... because Queensbridge is the biggest, so they might have not did it. But I know with Holmes, they had a couple of other developments in the meeting with them. explaining about the elections and what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't like exclusive.
Nothing like that
it wasn't
happened.
exclusive to
Right.
Holmes Towers, which is
Right.
crazy.
Right. Nothing like that happened over there.
Yeah.
I believe April Simpson, who was a former resident council president, she's running. And then we have a candidate being pushed by the infamous Bishop Taylor.
Okay.
You know, and we're wondering, you know, what is his agenda? There are a lot of people behind the scenes that are for the privatization of NYCHA.
Okay.
And they're trying to put their people in place,
Scary.
you know, so they can come out and promote this privatization nonsense.
That's
so
scary.
we got our eyes on it. We're gonna do what we can. We're trying to find a candidate to run. I reached out to somebody and I asked them. I'm waiting for an answer, you know. But if this candidate does run, we're gonna upset the whole scheme that they have going down.
All right. Well, it looks like it's time to
Yes.
jump into our guest.
Oh, mystery guest. Please let us know your name.
Yes. Switch the
Hello,
camera
all.
over.
My name is Sparkle McLemore, and
Sparkle.
I'm honored to be here today. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for having me.
Awesome.
So, Sparkle, how'd you get the name Sparkle? And is that on your birth certificate? We want to know.
Is that your government name? That's what you said?
Yes, is that your government name, Sparkle?
That is my government name.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful name.
Thank you.
That is right. And apparently, I'm going on a limb here. Okay, I'm going on a limb. And apparently, you are a Capricorn.
I am.
Would that be about? Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, he had to. Come on. If
You did some
people-
research?
and the camera wasn't on him. If people could see him, you can put the camera on you. Do that again. Do that again so
Right.
people. What did you just do?
And apparently, you
Oh,
are
no.
a Capricorn.
Mr. Cleo.
Yes.
I'm done. I'm sitting next to Mr. Cleo.
I'll get some stock tips from you. You can predict the future.
Right? Yeah. What's the number gonna be today? No.
When's your birthday, Mama?
January 12th.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
That's Gary's birthday.
Gary.
Oh, wow.
Capricorn.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm January 2nd, so I'm 10 days
Okay.
before you.
Wow.
So that's why. All right.
Amazing.
So your development you live in?
I live in Ingersoll houses that's located downtown Brooklyn off of Myrtle Avenue.
Okay.
And what happened to you recently? Please tell the viewership.
So last Thursday, I came home to my popcorn ceiling falling
Wow.
due to a leak up above. I live on the top floor, and the roof has a hole in it right over my apartment, and it just came down.
Wow. And so, what is NYCHA doing? I mean, what is management doing? Are they helping you? Are they resolving the issue? Are they ignoring it? What's happening?
They came out, this happened almost 2 weeks ago. This Thursday coming would be 2 weeks. They came out last week, Wednesday, to start trying to repair things because I've been making noise.
Right.
But
right.
before that, they didn't do anything.
Man, I hear these stories all the time.
Yeah.
Do you have children in the house?
I do. I have 2 daughters,
How old are they?
8 and 12.
Sad.
All right. So now, just so I can get a visual of what's happening, right? I wish you had pictures, but
Okay, I'm gonna send them to you.
oh, good, yeah. Because I want to know, like, what are you looking at? Like, when you look up at the ceiling, what do you see right now?
Well, right now, they call themselves doing a rush job.
Okay.
Typical NYCHA.
Yeah.
Classic.
They're not new to this. They're true to that.
Yeah, they did. I don't know what they did, but it's not working.
But before that, what were you looking at? Like, were you looking at like the floor upstairs from you, or?
I'm on the top floor.
So you could have conceivably been looking at the sky.
Are you serious?
I'm on the top floor, yeah. When you look up, you just seen a lot of mold and mildew. Like, I didn't even know that was under there.
Even under there, right? Because the water was coming in, and it's probably been coming in for years.
It actually, my bedroom, I have a leak in my bedroom as well. It's been leaking for 5 years.
5 years, you said. You have a
You
leak for
almost stuttered,
5
right? Yeah.
years?
Yes.
That's NYCHA.
So you got to understand that almost makes your apartment inhabitable,
Absolutely.
right? Mold,
Yeah.
right? Am I correct about that?
Which is a killer.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, mold, yeah, I know. I'm allergic to mold, so I
Right.
know. Like when I'm in an environment that not off the cuff, but if I'm living there, I start to get sick, with mold. So and I just want to try to understand the ceiling, because when I view NYCHA walls, I don't view them as sheetrock. I view them as being solid concrete walls. Am I accurate?
Right.
So you technically have a solid concrete ceiling. Is that? And
Has
this
a hole in it.
solid concrete ceiling has a hole in it that fell.
Top floor.
Yes, they call it the popcorn ceiling. It's been like that since May. The water came in and it just went down pretty quick because I didn't expect it to happen so fast. But
Right.
that Thursday, I looked at it. I said, "Man, this is about to bust." But I didn't think it was going to take the whole ceiling down. I didn't think it was going to do that, and I didn't think it was going to be that day. But it was filled with water. It was bound to happen. I called. They came and drained it back in May. And then I called my housing manager again, like, hey, it filled back up and it's dangerous because it was sitting very low, like right over us when we sit on the couch. I said, hey, it's dangerous. And he just was like, oh, put in a transfer. I said, no, I need someone to come out. And he just totally ignored me.
A transfer.
So who do you, I mean, let's call people out. What is the housing assistant's name? And you put tickets in, all that kind of stuff, I'm assuming. And,
tell them about your tickets.
Yeah. Talk about the tickets first, and then let's call this person
Wait till you hear this.
Oh, gosh. So with all of this going on, I discovered that all of my tickets are mysteriously gone.
You can't make this up.
What you mean they're gone? They took them out the system?
As if she never made the reports.
Oh, my God.
This is, yeah. It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up.
Wow. Okay.
They called me Thursday at work, and they said, we have no tickets put in since 2018.
Unbelievable.
I said, that's impossible because I had a fire in my apartment in May 29th, and the fire department was called, all the power went out, and it was a ticket put in there because the fire department came out. They said, we have no record of anything. And as far as your transfer application, it expired.
Can't believe it.
Wow. Oh, my God, man.
Also, it was an issue with you contacting media, correct?
Yes.
Talk about that. Because we're media, too.
Right.
We set it off. But go ahead.
So, the higher-uppers wasn't that happy with me contacting the media.
Oh, my God.
But I just feel like I needed help. At this point, I was fed up.
Yeah.
Those pictures, coming home to that after working long hours, I was just fed up.
I don't
at
think
that
that's
point.
We're not showing it yet, right? Are we?
No, they can't see. They can't see.
We just seeing it, but we're gonna show it.
This is my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, my
We
Lord.
had it on our page too.
Oh, my
we were the
God.
first to show her picture.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. We got to show the
And you can
public
show
these
that
pictures.
that didn't just happen.
Right.
Yo, this is,
You know what I mean?
This is insane.
Yeah. This is gross negligence. It's so bad, Gary about to knock the light down.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
this is straight blood fire right
Yeah.
here. This is,
And what kind of chronic health conditions
Are
you
you
all
living
may
in?
have.
So prior to this, my youngest daughter, the 8-year-old, she's been complaining that she couldn't breathe. She's
Respiratory
like,
all
I can't
day.
breathe. I can't
Yeah.
breathe. And I'm like, oh, just open the window, just go sit down. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I ignored it. I just, just thought maybe it was just hot. She was hot,
Right.
but now that this came down and I see that there's so much more behind it, I'm concerned because that could be the issue of
no,
why
I'm
having
gonna tell
trouble.
you something, right? Because I work in the medical field. That is the issue.
Okay.
If she can't breathe, and that's happening out of the blue, that means that the mold is built up so much in the environment that it's starting to affect her. Like I already know what's happening with that.
This is criminal. There's no other word to say. Gross criminal.
negligence, yes.
I mean, oh my God.
That's a lawsuit.
Wow.
course.
Are people able to see the pictures yet? Because this is stunning.
No, you guys keep talking because it's in about 8 of them.
So they let you live in this condition, and they said no tickets were created
With kids.
with. So
And she's an educator. She's an essential worker. She's an educator.
insanity.
Teaching our children.
Insanity. So I guess you went to Monica Morales. Is that the media?
I connected them, yeah.
And
Yeah.
did she air
Yeah.
her show?
Yes, she did.
And so after that, then they started hopping around, right? 'Cause that's usually how this
No,
goes.
well, they were hopping because Alika Samuels was on it.
Right.
I reached out to different elected officials, and they followed up. They let me know that they spoke to her. I was getting texts early in the morning, like, okay, I followed up, and I'm gonna follow up again. So, and I double confirmed it with Sparkle because we
Right.
stayed in touch. So, and what I would say is us coming alongside her. When I say us, rather it's me, you, or
Yeah,
whatever,
absolutely,
it's us.
whoever.
It's
Yeah.
us that do this work. It gave her a peace of mind, some sanity, because to go through this without no help,
Right.
and when you're going to public housing, who's responsible, and they're giving you the runaround,
Right.
and that should have never happened. She also sent pictures, I don't know if I sent it, of the roof. She has pictures of the roof too. So she has an excellent case of gross negligence and the harm that they have done, to her and her family. But go ahead, hon.
So who is a housing? Let's call this person out, because people need to be called out because these are people we pay their salary.
Right.
They sitting in the office, and they're supposed to be taking care of the residents. So who is the housing? Who's your housing assistant person?
His name is Mr. Chan.
Mr. Chan. Okay, so when you've talked to him, I know from my personal experience on working with residents, who have conditions like this, and you go down to the management office and totally disrespectful. That's what I've experienced, now to the extent that they won't even allow me to go with residents. So when you're speaking to him about these conditions, how is he responding back to you?
He just kept telling me to go online and put in for a transfer, and I told him that I did that already. It's like they totally ignored that I had a fire. It was like non-existent. I thank God every day that I'm a light sleeper and that I heard the popping noise that I was able to get up. But other than that, anything could have happened. They totally ignored that, and I've lost a lot. In this apartment, I've lost a lot.
So
where did the fire start?
Actually, how does fires? Yeah.
When housing came out the next morning, they said that the water from the roof got into the electrical box.
More gross negligence.
Oh my God!
She has a serious case.
I'm going to show these pictures that we've been seeing because I know you heard me go, oh, and then Stan was like, oh, and Gary knocked the light down.
I know Gary's just knocking everything down. He's like shocked.
So I'm going to show you the pictures of this apartment, and here it is right here. This is where she's living right now, right at this moment.
Sadly, without her kids, because her kids can't be there.
Right.
My kids haven't been home in almost 2 weeks.
Yeah. She's separated from her children.
And she has to be. And I've never seen,
this is
and then you have this going on.
Much. This is too much.
Look at the kitchen.
Yeah. This is too much.
And that didn't just like.
Yeah, this is
like you said, the popcorn. I wonder what it looked like before it fell.
Right. So,
because they should have got on it.
So is this conceivably a result of the fire that the apartment wasn't repaired properly or
top floor, right?
I live on the top floor, so it's just water sitting up there. When I go into my linen closet, it's nothing but mold. I hate to open that closet. Like I just continuously wash whatever out of the closet because. Everything has a smell in it, which is also next to my children's bedroom.
And like this picture here on the right looks like I'm standing in a cave looking out.
And that's exactly how I described it, walking into a cave.
Yeah, that's how it looks. Like this is.
And so that's the one over there. What is that? What part of your apartment is that?
That looks like
that's the living room. But against that wall, I had already had that wall was already falling.
Wow.
Against that wall.
So now this picture here is the kitchen. Now, is this the same piece or is that another piece?
It took the kitchen and the living room out.
Oh,
this is the most. I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
You see the wall right there? You can see it.
Yeah.
That was because of the fire.
The one right here.
Yes, that was connected to the fire, and it took out the TV and the children's PlayStation.
Wow.
And did they reimburse you for the things you've lost?
No, because to them they have no record of the fire.
This is one of the worst cases I've seen, and I've been doing this for a while. This is one of the worst I've seen.
They have
ever.
no recollection of the fire on the top floor of the building that the fire department came.
Yes.
Well, you know who got records, right?
Right.
The fire department.
Yeah, right. 911 too.
Yeah, 911 got the call.
Yeah.
You can't cover it up. Oh my God. I didn't really expect this.
No, this is one of the most shocking pictures I've seen. I've seen a lot, but I've seen not anything I think is worse than what I'm looking at.
Jackie McLemore. Is that your relation to?
That your mother? Hey, mother.
Hey, Mom. Hey, big shout out to Mom.
Yes,
she's in the house.
She's watching. Right? That's right.
And Mom always lays down the law.
Right.
And Mom said, "No fixing. Move her."
Yes.
What are they waiting for? A death. This is crazy.
No, this is insane.
Exactly.
This is insane.
And how could you tell a resident that it's experiencing this to put in a transfer when you should be automatically wanting to move her?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's in your best interest for not just the authority, but for the resident's health and life.
Right.
But can you talk to them about when they came out, how they just kind of took all of that down? Because that was their first thing.
Later that day, they just came and pulled it all down, threw it out, and then left.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I was like, no, something has to be done. And then Saturday, the guy came, took pictures. Everybody took pictures. I mean, they took a lot of pictures. He came, took pictures, and left. And then he came back with a cleaning crew. He said, ma'am, I feel really bad for you. He said, I want to scrape this wall because as I was in there, things was just falling. It was just falling. He said, ma'am, I want to help you. And he came back with a cleaning crew, and he scraped the wall. He said, I'm going to do the best I can. He scraped as much as he could, and then he left. They didn't come back out until last week, Wednesday. They came back out. A guy came out. He felt the ceiling. I guess he was supposed to repair. He said, I'm not doing the work in this apartment. This apartment is wet. He said, this ceiling and these walls is wet. I'm not going to waste my time. He left. Never seen him again. Another guy came. Of course, he did the work, but when he left on Friday, he said, it's wet. My work is going to go unnoticed because
so it's going to come back basically. Whatever they're doing
it's
is going to
still leaking to this day. Yesterday it rained.
Patchwork.
And there's water on the floor in the bedroom and the living room.
The one thing I like about this story is you had two honest people.
Right.
That say, you know what, I'm not going to do this.
And that's a contractor.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. He's like, yo, B, this is messed up.
I put my reputation on the line.
Right, my reputation.
Yeah, right.
You know, I that's the one thing about the story I actually like.
Give whoever that is.
Yeah, that's real.
So who are the elected
He didn't
officials?
try to take the money.
Nope.
Who are the elected officials that represent you? And are they all aware? I know you reached out to folks. So all the elected officials that represent you aware of the situation?
I'm not sure. Nobody has really contacted me. Ms. Saundrea saying contact. A lady named Rebecca called me Wednesday, and she's the one who told me. She said she's over housing. She's the one who called me and told me that there's no tickets in the system since 2018. That's how I became aware.
Now, what is her name? And what is her?
Scrubbed.
Rebecca.
Rebecca?
I didn't speak to Rebecca.
Okay. All right.
I was in contact with Elisa Samuels.
She called me
her
that
assembly,
Saturday.
Whoever's her assembly.
Yvette Aruba says yes, the whole 6th floor.
Yes.
Wait. There's other apartments?
Other apartments.
So that's my neighbor, and
This is worse. Go.
Wow.
and it's also happening in her apartment. And since that happened to mine, the hallway now leaks. Like now the hallway is flooded as well.
Wow.
Oh
make
my
this up.
God. Okay,
make this up.
so the residents, as I know in Queens, a lot of residents are afraid to speak out. So I'm very glad that you spoke out and brought attention to this. Are the other residents who experience this, are they afraid to speak out?
Well, one is on now saying something. So in the chat, right?
Yeah, she's in the chat.
She's a neighbor.
Wow.
She said they keep closing out her tickets.
Wow.
Which yes,
we got to
they
bring
do
you
that a
on
lot.
next soon. Let's connect. Let's bring you on next.
This is my very good neighbor. She looks over me and my children, and she's a big support system. And they're also going through the same thing. Thank God they haven't had their ceiling fall, but
Not yet, sadly.
But mold is a living organism.
yes.
So if it's your apartment, then more than likely the next apartment has it also. Like it's
And
not like
the floor and probably various other apartments in that particular building, in that development as a whole.
Yeah.
And then here it is. Here's my other concern that I have. They're doing all this work in your apartment, and all of that mold and dust and plaster is just floating around in the air, and they haven't removed you from the environment.
Nope,
That's
because
criminal.
you could still smell it.
Of course you can.
You can still smell it.
Yeah. I've done that work, so I know. And you wear a mask.
Smell it. You're
Yeah, I
ingesting
wear a
it.
mask.
Yeah.
Ingesting it. Yeah.
But then you live there still.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that.
So now,
They couldn't even give her a hotel room.
So this is too much.
know?
This is too much.
At least put her up somewhere. You know what I mean?
This is
Till
too
you
much.
repair.
This is too much.
And then Friday, Thursday they came and took the sink out. Like, oh, we're gonna give you a
She has
whole
no
brand
sink.
new apartment. We're gonna fix it up. Took the sink. There's no sink. There's no.
I want folks who are listening to know that in pushing the blueprint, they're allowing apartments to get into this condition on purpose. So that it becomes so much that HUD can't pass an inspection. This cannot pass a HUD inspection, and this is done on purpose. In order to bring this privatization scheme in, so you're actually letting people die or near death. In order to privatize our developments. This is insane.
It could be a slow death too.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Long-term effects of mold, you don't know.
Right.
Right.
You know, we don't know if there's any remnants of asbestos there or anything. Like we don't know.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it's an open ceiling. You
Right.
know, and what it is what it is. You
Right.
know that? My God.
Unbelievable.
Now, if there's 10 to 15 residents who are willing to step up, you can actually have a lawsuit. You know, guys can come together and sue Ingersoll houses, for this negligence.
She can also do it on her own.
Yeah,
She
you
has a
can do-
case
you can
on
do
her
that.
own
Right,
by
okay.
herself.
All by
You
herself.
filed an HB action? So
I'm working with her with something.
she's
Okay.
working with
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
We're gonna get her some help.
Wow.
And then if anybody else, they
If
can
anyone
turn
else-
it into a class.
Yeah.
But we don't want to talk about too much on the air. You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
Well,
Yeah.
let's stay in touch to
Yeah.
see if we can work together to do that, because
Thank you.
this is beyond.
So what's the deal with the transfer? Because
Put in.
I'm right. I'm my mind is bogged.
You don't
boggled.
have to put in with something like this.
Right.
They supposed to
This should be
easily
automatic.
move you.
This is
Yeah.
immediate.
They
This is
told-
like inhabitable.
They told me.
I would have walked in and said, "Get your stuff out."
They called me down on Wednesday to the office. They said, "Come and fill out the transfer." I did it, and they said, "Now we need documents from the kid's doctor or from your doctor about
You see this?
breathing and stuff." So the next day, I took my kids to the doctor. I'm waiting on the results, but I'm saying to myself, "Why I have to do all of this for you
Shouldn't.
guys to move me?"
And you said
And-
they took out your sink. They took your sink out?
Yeah.
And so is a sink.
And then why do we have to wait for the kids to get sick?
Right.
Why is this not a preemptive thing? Because here's a fact: they will get sick. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in a respiratory nightmare. You know what I'm saying? So they will get sick. So I don't really understand.
Before it even fell in.
Right? Yeah. Before it even fell in.
Yeah, now I know they've been complaining about breathing because their room is small, and they always say, "Ma, I can't breathe at night." The oldest one, she has a pump, but they haven't diagnosed her. She's been having breathing issues. She definitely been assigned a pump. The youngest one, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, she started with the breathing. Mommy, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
How old
sorry.
are your
What
kids?
what development you live in?
Ingersoll.
How old are your kids? Ingersoll
8
Housing.
and 2.
And she
I
lives
mean,
where?
8 and 12. I'm
I think
sorry.
Crystal Hudson's the elected folk.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Justice Shaw reached out to her?
I reached out to her.
Okay.
I think they did communicate.
I'm sorry. Where's this place at?
This is Brooklyn. This
No,
is,
where does she live? I missed
This
it.
is Ingersoll houses,
Ingersoll.
downtown Brooklyn, where we
What's
have
that-
all
is
these
that-
high rises now.
Is
going
that
on.
like Skimmerhorn Street
No,
and all that?
that's in that general area. You're going downtown, off of like Myrtle,
Myrtle and Navy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now you got all the Metro Tech down there. You have all
Right.
this high rise development, and folks are living their best lives.
That's not
And-
Canarsie, is it?
No, this is Fort Greene, right?
Fort
Right.
Greene.
So you have all of this happening, around where people are living their best lives in total luxury, and then a few feet away they're living like
Gentrification,
this.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
going to acknowledge the chat room because that's sort of popped off, really.
Okay.
Your mom said they need to be put on blast, and
Yeah,
that's what we're doing,
That's
Mom.
what we're doing. That's right.
Renee Simmons says all the apartments from the 6th floor and below are compromised. Actually, the building, child endangerment.
Wow.
Alvin Bragg and Lalita James should be looking into
Yeah.
this, right? That's right, because Alan is
Yeah.
next up, or is he
Alvin.
in already?
He's
about to be
nominated,
in.
He's
Yeah.
about to be in, right? He's about to
He
be
has
sworn
to
in.
win the general.
Right.
Yvette says, yes, and now my asthma is bothering me from the smell of the wall peeling.
This is
I
too
got
much, man.
all the pics
We need to do a press
and
out there.
videos.
We
Yeah.
need to come out there. We're going to
Yeah.
come out there.
Okay.
We're going to set up something. We're going to do
Yeah,
a
we
press
got to
out.
do that. real
Yeah,
soon.
we should
gotta-
definitely-
We got to
We'll
make some
bring
noise.
Crystal out.
I
She's
think it
gonna-
needs to be a press conference.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to do one.
Yeah.
You know,
we're going to do
this is
something.
big enough for that.
We'll
But
plan
this
it.
is too much.
We'll
Right?
plan
This is
it.
big enough for One Night to come out.
Yeah,
We
we'll
do this
plan it.
press conference
Right.
and really point out and call out the people that are engaged in
Right.
this
And
this
will it-
atrocity.
And we'll invite mainstream media, but we'll be there.
Right,
Right,
You know,
100%.
the mainstream they
Yeah.
don't show up for this. They don't come out. Listen to this Monica, thank God for her. But the rest ignore this stuff.
But this is an atrocity.
Yeah, this is it's
Like this isn't a broken toilet or
Yeah.
this is death. For all intents and purposes, because what you're looking at is unhealthy. You can have long-term respiratory issues
Right.
behind this stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's
Combined,
yeah.
with COVID.
right,
combined with COVID.
COVID
Right,
is here
right,
still.
Like
right.
really, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing now. And
Wow.
in the United States of America, in New York City, this is
One of
what
the
we're doing to
richest-
people.
One of the
Right.
richest cities.
Oh yeah, nah, we gotta put this on blast.
No, I
this is the
mean-
worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, this definitely in my top 5 of most
of all the complaints that I've seen.
Right.
And I'm not active like you are active,
Right.
and Saundrea is. But we get pictures all the time,
Right.
And I've never seen one that looks like this.
That's probably the worst I've seen.
Yeah.
Especially for the length of time.
Yeah.
You're talking about a leak for 5 years. That's unimaginimical. I can't even wrap my mind around how you can have a leak for 5 years.
Right.
And you know what? Somebody brought up a powerful point in the chat room. I'm going to it because they're on it like that. They said Keisha Corbett said, "Is another situation like that condo in Florida about to happen?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is
I was
another
saying
point that she brought up.
We had that conversation yesterday, Stan,
Yeah, you
right?
sure
Over the
did.
phone.
Yeah, you did. You sure
right.
did.
We was talking about
Because that's going
we
to
have
happen
developments
next.
near water. So, you know what I mean? If they're saying it's seawater, the sea blowing in or
Right.
the sand, whatever. But, we do have, so that is,
So could
we
the
had
actual
this
structure be-
conversation.
We absolutely
We definitely
did.
had this conversation.
Could the structure be compromised? Right?
It looks like it is to me. I don't see how it can't be.
But one of the things that is a big fear for residents anyway, because they want to privatize public housing, is yes, if something's compromised, if they have to bring it down, they're not going to bring it back up.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's exactly
You're
correct.
displaced, and then they have property that they can get rid of.
Right.
And
Prime
some of
property.
that is basically by design. This is
Absolutely.
the systemic racism that we are experiencing because public housing is filled with Black and brown people.
That's right.
Because if you go back decades and when public housing was coming up and being developed, everything was taken care of. People were leaving and jumping out of the tenements to move into public housing. And
Right.
now, we're living just as bad as the people that were living in the
In the
unhealthy
tenements.
conditions.
Yeah, in the tenements.
Yeah.
My family
We're
came
not
from
going-
the tenements
we're not
to
going
public
forward,
housing. Right.
we're going
We're going
backwards.
We're going
Hello,
backwards.
Maria. What did that say? Maria Lozia. How you doing? And just wanted to acknowledge you. Thank you for tuning in to
Thank
the One
you
Night
for
Show.
watching, you all. Share this.
Absolutely.
Share this show. 'cause
Everyone
this
that's listening, we need to share this as much as possible.
Get the
We
word
are our
out.
own media.
Yeah.
We got to put this on blast. This is not acceptable.
Yeah.
This is inhumane.
Yeah.
And it's a third world, like living like a third world country. That's
Yeah.
really what
Yeah.
this
Can I
really
put those
is.
pictures back up again?
Yeah, please. Let people
And I
let-
want to talk while you doing
go
the
ahead.
show that. Yeah. And another reason to share it, it's not really about numbers. It's about information.
Absolutely.
It's about educating people, and it's about knowing that One NYCHA is with you. We will stand with you. Stand with you. Stan is an organizer, so am I.
Absolutely.
We organize for public housing, and we have a whole lot of comrades. We have people that don't even live in public housing that will stand with you, that will march
Absolutely.
with you. You know what I mean? That will create petitions and everything. And we have people from all walks of life. We have access to attorneys. I mean, we have everything for you all. So
Right.
and we know how to do press conferences. We know how to rally up the people, and we know how to organize. So
good.
you in
Yeah,
good
you're not-
hands.
you're not by
just
yourself.
you're not alone.
no.
But if you listening, you can reach out to us, One NYCHA, ONE, NYCHA, NYCHA, TV at gmail.com, or DM us and let us know your issues, because we have to put a light on this and let people see, because this is not just a New York City issue. This is a country issue with public
Absolutely.
housing. And we
Absolutely.
have to eradicate it. When one suffer, we all suffer. So we are here for you all. So share this video and let people know, because it might be somebody, a senior, suffering with leaks or something and not even complaining.
I know that-
You
I know
know
that
what I
to be a
mean?
fact.
And this will help empower, because this is what it's about: empowering one another. And just gathering the comrades together.
And I definitely thank you guys for this, because this is not my first apartment that looked like this. This is the second one in Ingersoll.
It's the second
Yeah.
one.
This is the
Yeah.
second one. The first one, same thing. There was a leak. We were flooded out. Me and my youngest daughter. I was pregnant with my baby.
Can't make it up.
And we were walking every day with rain shoes on in the apartment.
In your apartment?
We were
Wow.
walking every day. We got flooded out. And
Unbelievable.
we lived like that for a year and a half. I never spoke up or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mysteriously, someone called me, and the next week they said, "Oh, we've been trying to contact you." I said, "No, you wasn't." I don't know who that person was, but I thank God every day, whoever he was, for getting me out of that apartment. But this is the second apartment
In Ingersoll.
that I lived in like this.
I'm just going to hit the chat
mirrors-
room.
Okay.
I want to hit the chat room because you see what's going on here, right?
Mommy would say this.
This is out of the chat room. Out of, Bobby Cowan says, "Wow, this is so unacceptable."
Yes.
OSHIT, Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Whoever owns this building should have to live in it for a period of time.
The mayor, the city. Come on, mayor.
Like the super.
Give him the 6th floor.
Emily Johnson says,
Hey.
good afternoon,
700
everyone.
strong.
700 strong is in the building. Danella Cash, yes, this is ridiculous. And I want to acknowledge that I saw Brenda Temple pop into the room a little bit earlier.
She's always ready for a march,
Yeah.
always ready for a fight.
Yeah, the activists are coming into the room.
Yeah.
Danella Dash.
behind this.
This is
behind this.
We're going to plan this.
Oh, this is okay. Danella is your neighbor. She says, this is my neighbor. I was scared for her and her family.
Wow.
So
Thanks for being a good neighbor. What I wanted to say, what Sparkle was just saying, it mirrors what happened to Eleanor Bumpers, right? Great granddaughter.
Right.
She lives in forest houses, and they moved her out of an apartment that tested positive for lead. Her kids had lead, and moved her into another apartment that had lead.
This is just
So this just shows you what public housing does. They'll move you, but in this case, they're leaving. I guess they done moved her twice. They're going to let us. I mean, but how can this happen?
No.
How can you move people into a worse circumstance?
Right,
You know, like
right.
I'm sure a resident would want out of the development after this experience,
right.
not giving me another space or place.
Right.
You know, it's
And that's
I
what
can't even think
So
of the,
let me ask,
the
in
trauma.
terms of
emotional
what this
trauma.
does mentally, you know, because we
This
spoke
was-
about the health issues, but I know what does this do to you mentally as you're living in this situation?
I'm tired. Yesterday, on Friday, I almost had a breakdown. My
Aw.
coworker was like, no, you got to keep it together. You've been keeping it this strong,
Yeah.
this together this long. It's a lot because my kids are separated. They're not with me. Then I have to pick up the youngest one, bring her downtown and go to school, keep the oldest one in this place. It's been a lot. And then I still have to show face and go to work like everything is okay. But every time 5 o'clock hit, I get the jitters.
Can we reiterate again what you do for a living?
I'm a pre-K teacher during the school year.
You're a school teacher.
Right now, I deal with S3-EP, the summer youth. I'm their supervisor.
This is insane. This is somebody who's teaching our kids, serving us as
Essential
during
worker.
a pandemic, as an essential worker.
Because
you have to.
I wanted to be clear on that real quick because sometimes you gotta let people see who the person is because immediately because you see that you think this is someone who doesn't work. This
We
is
had
someone that
that
might be a
conversation.
welfare recipient. This
And it don't matter whatever, right? It doesn't matter, right?
This
But
is a productive person of society. It doesn't matter whether or not you're on welfare,
Right.
but I just want to take
people
I want
have a misperception.
to have a misperception, and I want to clear
I
it
say
up
it all the time.
that this is a person that works every day. She does what she got to do. She got her kids. She's a professional, right? And she lives in these conditions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is.
And they called me, my housing manager called me and was like, Miss McLemore, you always pay your rent on time. What's going on? Tell me, speak to me. I said, the conditions I'm living in is bad and I'm not giving you any money until it gets better.
So you withholding your rent now?
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
I did it for a couple of months and then I paid it.
Okay.
And then now I just started doing it again because once I seen the ceiling just getting lower.
You
and
have a
lower,
right.
And I spoke to him. I called him personally and spoke to him about it and he did nothing. I said, okay, I'm not giving any rent anymore because it's not like I pay little.
Right.
Right.
Well, I don't want to be. I do want to say. I mean, you don't have to give out the exact number, but I think people also have a misconception that everyone at nights is paying small amounts of rent.
Of course.
So you're paying. Is it over just 12? Let's say.
Don't even do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Don't-
it's a decent amount.
It's enough where I can go and get a regular apartment.
Or probably pay mortgage. Let's talk about
definitely
it.
pay
Okay.
mortgage.
Yeah. Let's
A lot of
talk
people
about
tell
it.
me
Right.
to definitely
Exactly.
pay
Right.
mortgage.
Like I'm here, but I can pay mortgage. Exactly. Like
Yeah.
Wow.
don't get it twisted. And you know what Richard Torres said
go ahead.
Friday? He said that the fact that people do not realize, because I said we are a mixed bag of incomes. He said, yeah, this is the essential workers. They're in
Right.
public housing.
Right.
You know, like it's a mix of incomes.
Right.
Everybody is not. And you know what? Even if somebody is on public assistance, they might have not always been on
Right,
it. Like
right.
life happens.
Right.
Of course.
You know, so and there's people on unemployment, there's people that are working, there's
Right.
people that's working from home.
Right.
You know, there's people that work for elected officials. Let's
Right.
get let's not,
Right.
and there's people that are making six figures too living in
Right.
public housing.
Absolutely.
So let's not, and if they're not, they're right up there because
Right.
I know I was close to
Right.
it. So.
Right.
So I just want to say, I'm just kind of throwing this. So you're not on Section 8, basically.
No.
Yeah. So you're just paying basically market value.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
And
insane.
this is what she gets for market value.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that you withholding your rent. That's great. You know, I think that more residents should be doing that. Yeah, I think all across the city, NYCHA residents should not be paying the rent. You know, if you live in these conditions, because no one else would. No one else would. They don't deserve the rent money.
No.
What they deserve to be is in jail.
Yeah,
that's what they deserve to be. They deserve to be in jail. Whoever's responsible for that should go to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any other way to say it.
Yeah. Well, what that also says, and what this is saying to me, as a non-NYCHA resident, right, and understanding how this is framed, right. This is what you guys say all the time. This is an attack on NYCHA, and it has nothing to do whether you're on Section 8 or not, or whether you're rich or you're poor. This is an assault on all of NYCHA and humanity across the nation.
Absolutely.
Right? Across the nation. Like,
absolutely.
Disrespectful.
Whether you live in NYCHA or not, you should be outraged.
Yeah.
You should be outraged. Any citizen in New York has to live like this. It should be an outrage for the entire, like you said, the entire country.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
I got an issue. It's in the chat room, and this is for my activists at the table. Here it is. Georgia Watkins says, I was told by management if you withhold the rent, you will be evicted quickly.
Well,
intimidation.
No, that's all intimidation tactics. If you withhold the rent and you have the money,
either in
escrow or in your own checking account or whatever the case may be, then you cannot be evicted. If you produce the money when you go to court, then you're not going to be evicted.
And there's no judge. Sorry to cut you, but there's no judge if they took her to court for non-payment proceedings would even I don't even know what the stipulation is what they would call it would look like, because they would have to fix her apartment in full.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like, it's a case that they would probably say, get it out of my courtroom till you fix this. You want to bring her for non-payment after you fix up that apartment. Absolutely. You know, so because it's no judge that can deal with that.
Right. And you're right, because I went through that, right? I went through an eviction process, and I wasn't in NYCHA at the time. And my landlord, who was a slumlord, right, you know, he wanted me out, and he wanted me out. Same basic circumstance, which was really crazy. I was paying $800 a month rent in a 3-bedroom apartment in Fresh Meadows, which is unheard of, right? And I had been there that long. The apartment was worth $2,400 a month, right?
He wanted you out.
And I was, and he was the third landlord that had brought the property. Right. So he wasn't fixing anything and the whole thing. And at one point, I basically just stopped paying rent. You know what I'm saying? Right. So there was a beam in the middle of my living room to hold the ceiling up, right? Wow. And when it rained, we had to put buckets in this on the floor, right?
So you know how she feel.
I know exactly what's happening, and I recorded all of this stuff.
Me too.
That's right. I recorded everything, right? And this is to let y'all know about how court works, okay? Because I was there. They put the eviction notice on my door and said, "Listen, we want you out, blah blah. You got it 14 days." And the lawyer for the landlord assured him that I would be out in 14 days. Right. So I went and I got me a lawyer. I said, "Let me go with my lawyer." I got a lawyer, and I lawyered up. Right, I spent $40. $400. I lawyered up. So I go there, and we're sitting in the courtroom, and I got my video and pictures of the mold and the condition of the apartment. And this is key on what I could teach you guys that are in the chat room. When I showed my lawyer this first, and he said, "Oh, you good?
We got this in the bag."
He said, "We good." He said, "Oh, right." And he took the device, showed the lawyer the video, the judge the video, and went, "Yeah, listen. So what is it you want to do, right?" So I said, "Well, here's the deal." I said, "I want to move, right?" I said, "I want to move," and he was like, "Okay, right." So then we went and we did arbitration, right? So the two lawyers and me, I'm sitting there in the room, and he said, "Well, what do you want? How much do you want to move?" Right. Now, he was $8,000 in the hole on the rent, right? Which is really crazy, because I hadn't paid rent in about 10 months, right? And I said, "I need like $6,000. I said, "I need $6,000 to move." My lawyer was like, "Damn, Rock." I said, "Listen, I need $6,000 to move to get me a new apartment."
Rent, security, and moving.
He had to pay that. Right. He had to pay that if he wanted me out. Right. I didn't think he was going to pay it, to tell you the truth, but he had to pay it. But the reason why it worked in my favor was the documentation.
Right.
Yep.
The judge didn't even want to hear the case.
Right.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, get that out of me.
Yeah.
Get that. That's crazy.
Written documentations, pictures, oral
And even though they
testimonies from
erase
people.
your tickets, but the tickets are important to keep a very good, accurate
Well,
record
you
of
got
the
to
tickets.
screenshot or you got to document that. Yeah, because that goes out of the,
'Cause that's
but you
insane.
can't see it.
Right.
But technically, it's still there.
Wow.
But they done, I don't know what they did with your tickets because they're claiming, I would follow back up on Monday. I would call somebody to find out because who said they're not there. I would like to hear that again.
Yeah, and get that person's name.
Well, she said the first. She said the lady, Rebecca,
if you get the
right?
last name, then you got to put that on blast.
Yeah.
She got to be blasted out.
Because there's no way. I mean,
Like,
if
she should
they're
be
doing
fired.
that's like, wow.
That's a whole
means
next level.
NYCHA's moving like the FBI.
Well, it's like the mob. It's like the mob.
But
Really, it's like the
I'm,
mafia. It's like the mafia.
Woo. I
And,
tell you.
and guess what we did?
Right.
The hour.
That was one of the most,
Word up.
that was one of the most.
Yes.
It is 4:55.
Right.
That's
So we
one
have
of the
like
most
the 5
shocking
minutes
hours.
of closing and stuff. Yeah.
That was the most shocking hour of my podcasting career.
Yeah.
I think that's the most shocking show we've had on the show in terms of just the shock of it all.
Yeah. Well,
the
thank you
shame
for
of it
your
all.
transparency and coming on and, letting our
appreciate you
viewership
guys.
see you and hear,
Put that camera on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Because
Let
I
them hear.
definitely, I've been living like this for a while,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how to go about it. But I
You're not
appreciate
alone.
you.
We are with you.
Definitely, I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
you guys.
We're coming over to Ingersoll.
Yeah. Yvette Aruba says, go to the NYCHA app and go to the tickets and screenshot them before they close them out.
Right.
So that maintains your proof.
Right.
Yeah.
That they
Right.
did exist.
Wow.
But I think after the 6 months they go, right? They disappear, I think.
Yeah. But as long as she has it on her phone and
whatever
in her
she has
email, she
now.
gravy.
Right, they're probably the new ones, but the other ones.
new ones
are gone.
They're gone. And we've been to court for my my bedroom. We've been
Okay.
to court, and they
Okay.
said, okay, we have to fix it. They never came out.
Right.
They never.
So they're in violation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're in
So you
contempt.
took
They're
them
in
to court,
contempt.
and that happened to a resident in
She didn't take them back,
Astoria.
Paul. You didn't take them back to court, though, right?
I didn't take them back
Yeah,
to court.
because
So
they
they
would have been
ignored
held
a
in
court
contempt.
order.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They do that all the time. That's nothing. That's
Wow,
nothing new.
This is we got to fight back, folks.
Yeah.
This cannot
Jesus.
be.
Maria Lozia says, I had a hole in the kitchen 2019. I called it in. They told me I am on the waiting list.
Wow.
But
a hole
on
in the
my
kitchen.
app, it says closed. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you
The
got to
smell,
follow that up.
the smell that comes through the walls is nasty.
Oh gosh.
So what happened was she looks at the app. So she calls them, you're on the waiting list. She looks at the app, the ticket is closed like they did the work.
Right.
Because that's what that means, right?
That's
what
exactly
they
what that
do.
means.
Right.
That's
When it's
exactly what
closed,
that
that means that they've done the work.
Or the
Right.
resident is not home and they had to close it out. They
Oh, look at that.
Could
Wow.
be that way too. It depends. Yeah.
Oh my God! Well,
They'll probably document it several attempts or something like that, and then they could close it out.
now didn't Alvin Bragg said he had the ability to prosecute if he's to win? Did he say
when
that?
these cases, I mean, we're gonna have to really make a lot of noise, and that's something that we had him on. We need to bring him back on.
Yeah.
Before the general election,
Right.
and really get him to concretely say. But yes, anything criminal with NYCHA, because their main office is still in 250 Broadway,
Right,
but
right.
the majority of NYCHA moved out, I believe, into Brooklyn.
Right.
But there's still some offices, maybe one floor. So
So he may fall under his jurisdiction.
Oh yeah, he said
What's
it will.
going on? He
Said it will.
Alvin was on the show.
Yes,
was on
yes.
the
We
show.
had, let me tell you something. We had
Historical.
let's
Alvin
just-
is a friend.
we had some winners. We had Alvin Bragg.
Okay.
We had Crystal Hudson.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had Julie Menon, District 5.
Okay.
Crystal Hudson, I don't know what district it is. Is it 35, 36?
Which
I don't
one?
know. That's Crystal
I
Hudson.
think 36.
36,
I
okay.
think.
Yeah, out of Brooklyn. We had Peggy Morales
Which is
that
hers.
won.
Right.
Yeah, we had some winners on here. I'm trying to think who else. I know we talked about it with the other show with
Right.
Jeff
Yeah.
when you wasn't with us. We were
Right.
talking
But
about,
this is season 3 now.
Yeah. Uh-huh. you want to get that in, right?
Yeah, season 3
yeah.
now.
But we talked about it, but we were still waiting on the full results.
Results,
so,
okay.
yeah. So now we kind of know who's in now and going into the general.
Yeah, we need to try to get
We need to
Alvin
put that political pressure on these folks. to
speed
step
dial,
up.
baby.
Absolutely. And Jamani Williams, if you're listening, anybody from your office, you're the public advocate, and you're probably going to be, again, how are you not getting involved and speaking out and really making a big case of this? Why are folks so silent?
We'll make sure they know and see if they show up.
We have a press conference.
Yeah. And it's usually probably Del Senior.
I have a question. So can the public advocate run again, or is this his last term?
This is last.
I think it's the last time.
Hey, bro, you can go off now. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you wanted to keep the job first term. Second term, you can just bug out. You know, like you good.
I wonder, I don't know if he has an independent running against him, but he has this in the bag.
Yeah, he does.
I'm saying once he's elected and he's got the job, you know what I'm saying? All right, you had a good 4 years. You were dormant, lame duck style, right? This is how you rock. Now you can come out and you can come out for your people now, and you can advocate for your people because you're not getting elected again.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how Obama rocked. Second floor, he was bugging. You know what I'm saying? Like, first floor, he was a little tipping about things, you know? So,
but one of the things we have to remember is a public advocate. You're supposed to fight for the people regardless.
Right.
Whatever you feel within your bones, it doesn't matter. You are for the people.
Right.
Bottom line.
And so I say, when we do organize this press conference, we're going to invite all of these folks to come, and whoever don't come, you're going to be called out. Because if you can't get behind this and really support for this type of atrocity, then you don't deserve to be in office, because you're not serving anybody but your own self-interest. So we gotta
organize it.
We gotta do it,
because we're not trying to have a one with a whole 1,000 of speakers, because that's not happening.
Right.
But we'll condense and invite who we feel should be there.
Absolutely.
Make it concentrated.
If they don't show up,
then
it's not the quality; it's the quantity of the speaker, right? And what they do and who they are.
Yeah, of course.
And how can they help the
It
situation?
has to be people definitely in her district.
Yep.
Right.
You know, her assemblyman or woman,
all of them.
her city council, even the people that's running, that's up and coming, can be there. Even if they don't, it depends on the speaker list, right? Because the press conference should run at least an hour.
Right.
And somebody up that totem pole,
of course,
somebody on that totem pole needs to call Mario Cuomo. The governor needs to come, because he's done that before.
Right.
He's done that before, right? And the apartment was magically fixed.
Right.
You know, he need to come, because that's horrifying.
They trying to fix the apartment, but until the roof gets fixed,
the roof
to continue to have this problem.
Yeah, 100%. I
That's
mean,
patchwork.
they need to fix the whole 6th floor.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned,
That's really what's happening.
Before somebody else's apartment
does that,
and
right?
even worse,
Yeah.
right? You know.
Wow, we got a lot of work to do.
Department of Buildings needs to be up in there too, like there's serious inspection.
You know what? You just brought up a really good point.
DOB.
Hold on.
Department.
Where is the Department of Buildings?
Right.
They don't know. They don't know.
They go around fooling with everybody else, right?
Yeah.
And you're not inspecting the NYCHA buildings?
Right.
I have a connect. I'm gonna reach out.
Come on now.
Yeah,
we need to get that going.
We gotta come.
It was said to them that it's not that serious, that I'm exaggerating it. It's
No.
not
That's what they told you. That's an insult on his face.
See, now I'm gonna play the exaggeration.
Like you crazy.
There you go. Here's the exaggeration.
Yeah.
All right.
They told me it's not that serious.
This is Photoshop. No, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, is anything about this exaggerated?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm looking, and it looks pretty. If anything's the exaggeration you wouldn't think it. The exaggeration is the picture,
Right. You would not think it's even impossible.
Because when you said it to me, the visual I had in my mind did not look like that.
No,
I was like, she's got like a hole in the ceiling. She can see maybe the rope. You know, I had no idea until you did that. So
it almost make you. It really is disheartening. Like, it's my eyes actually are watering up now, because you can hear it in my voice. Like, this is why would they? Why?
Yeah.
Why would somebody have to live like this? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Our elected officials are responsible for our well-being. The public housing is responsible for how we live. Like, they're an authority.
Right.
You know, and they dictate what we get and this and that. They don't listen to us,
Right.
you know. And then to allow this, the mayor's office. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You know, or the new whoever's coming in. Like, what are you doing? Oh, Brooklyn Borough President.
Yeah.
He needs to be there.
Yeah, well, we're gonna. That's right. This is
Eric
this,
Adams.
In
Yeah.
fact, yeah.
Eric.
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
if you don't
Let's
show
see if he
Eric,
stands with
yeah,
us.
let's see
Yeah.
where you.
And we're not working around nobody's schedule. When we gonna Stan and I, we're gonna and Rock will sit.
Lock a
We'll talk.
date.
We're gonna lock a date in, and then you know what? Rearrange your schedule and
Right.
show up.
Right.
That's how serious
Right.
this is.
Right.
So that's literally a human atrocity. And I'm going to say it, and I know I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it. But, you know, if this was another set of people,
Oh yeah.
course
It
not.
wouldn't.
Of
That
course.
wouldn't be there.
this wouldn't even be
Oh,
happening.
come on.
Of course.
That
If
roof-
this
that
happened
roof-
in Williamsburg,
Right.
this would not be happening.
the roof
100%
wouldn't
correct.
even. It wouldn't even went on this.
That's
Right?
absolutely right.
This is like,
You got a leak? Oh, we coming right now. We going.
Right.
Oh no, we're not. Oh, it's on the roof. Oh, we're gonna fix the roof. The
Right.
roof is finished, ma'am.
And
Right.
the
yeah,
funny part
this is how you know
they
black lives
have-
don't matter.
They have construction workers, and all this time I thought they were actually fixing the roof because throughout the whole pandemic, me teaching, I have to teach over the noise, and come to find out they're only there for the outside, replacing the bricks. They have nothing to do with the roof.
Okay,
Exterior.
Nothing to
so
do.
now let me tell you what that is.
Exterior.
That means that the facade of the building was in danger of collapsing.
Wow.
Because if you have to replace the face of the building,
Right.
that means you see bubbling under the brick, right?
Right.
That the brick is becoming unstable. So this is a huge deal. This is
Right.
a huge deal.
Well, that's
Right.
what they're doing. They sit by my window every day, drilling, replacing. I see them. They're sitting at my window.
Wow.
That's benign neglect. So they know.
Yeah.
They know. There's no way
Gross
they don't know.
negligence. It's a crime.
We're gonna fight
Is
this
it a
fight.
crime? Yes, it is.
And then we got to bring you back on
Yeah.
when this work is done.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we got to follow the
Right.
story. You know,
Yeah.
to make sure that this doesn't
Thank you, Bobby.
get swept under the rug.
Bobby said, "I'll say it for you, Rock. If they were white, this wouldn't happen." By the way, Bobby's white, so I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, well,
thank you, Bobby.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your woke.
We're gonna punch out.
Yeah, we're gonna get going and.
Oh, boy.
And what a
anything
kickoff
next
for
week?
season
Anything this
3.
week for you?
Well, I'm getting ready to go meet Julie Wan.
Okay.
I'm leaving from here to go meet her to find out what her agenda is, you know, for the NYCHA developments that she represents. And, you know, next week I'm going to have an event in Ravenswood on next Tuesday.
Okay.
And we're going to really oppose these residents and let them know what's going on with the blueprint.
Okay.
I'm having issues, again, with some of these resident council presidents, but we'll see if they show up, you know, to this event we're going to have, and we're going to get this word out.
Yeah, make friends.
Yeah, we're beyond the days of friends. We can't be friends if y'all can't get the work done and do what you got to
Yeah.
do.
So once again, thank you again for
welcome.
coming
Thank
on.
you,
We
guys.
appreciate you. We will be following up with you, and you will have a press conference in front of Ingersoll houses.
And you are Miss Sparkle McLemore, is that correct?
Yes.
Capricorn, January 12th.
Ooh,
Right,
Rock.
okay, there you go.
You're not doing none of this, bro.
Hold on.
So he see it on my neck, guys.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Oh no! Wow, she blew
You never caught on?
I didn't know it was that.
really wrong.
I saw it on her neck.
Oh my gosh! Like
I thought you were joking.
No, you had me fooled. I thought you.
I was like, you was like, he did some research. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
We honest people. See, nothing staged. One NYCHA is so real, right? We're so real with it
Yeah.
because we did not know.
Oh, I thought you, because I read it. I was like, oh, she's a Capricorn.
No, I wasn't looking at her.
Yeah, I was about to have
and then
put
you
up-
wasn't looking at her.
No, but it was the jewelry. That's
Yeah.
why I saw the flashy jewelry.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what the tattoo says, but I saw the jewelry.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm telling you. I'm like, this is funny. Okay,
Yeah,
see,
wow.
we got jokes. We
I
got
can say
jokes.
it after the show.
Thank
That's
you.
how he knows.
And it's still on, and you. That's good. Yeah. Okay, Rock. I know now.
Okay.
You're not Mr. Cleo. You're not Mr. Cleo.
Yo, I really thought y'all knew that she was a
No,
Capricorn. 'cause
like no, I did not know. So it's cool.
I played it right too. And I was like,
This is you did like got us like
Capricorn.
I'm like,
Had me
I'm like wait a
fooled.
minute, like I had no idea. Live and uncut. This is what we do.
We
So
gonna punch out. Go
yeah, we're gonna
ahead.
punch out. So next week, let me just say this: the independents are coming. The independents are coming.
Yes.
We will have Dr. Raja Flores. Hope I'm saying his name right. He is an independent candidate for mayor. He will be on, and he's also a doctor surgeon.
Okay,
So
now.
he will be on next week, and that's it. You know, I'll be doing my thing. What about you, Rock? You busy too? Doing your thing?
oh, yeah. because I'm back in the schools again.
Okay.
Doing the recording studios and stuff. So there's a school that I have to set up, I guess, this week.
Okay.
Big shout out to Research and Development, which is the old Boys and Girls High School out in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how they do? They break the schools up into four.
So boys and girls don't exist no more. They got it's something else.
No, what it is now the high schools, they chop them up into four schools.
So you got
So one of the schools in there is called Research and Development, and there's another one called Harriet Tubman or something. And there's another one called Nelson Mandela. You know, they do that now. So
Yeah, a lot of mixtures.
I'll be there.
Well, this was the first show for season 3, guys. Give us some.
Yes, season 3. And what
We
a
kicked
show.
it off.
Yeah,
It was
what
a wonderful
was.
show.
What a
We about
show
to
was.
lift off?
We
One
lifting
night,
off.
one people. Let's do
One
it.
night, you're one people.
One night, one people. We out.
Wow.